Hello, everybody. Welcome this afternoon to another Fox Sports Southwest broadcast.com on the Lone Star Conference, Eastern New Mexico versus Abilene Christian. I'd like to welcome to our broadcast this afternoon. I'm Don Veith. Next to me is Travis Whipple. Travis, big-time matchup again today in the Lone Star Conference.
It's a great one. They've already faced off once this year at Eastern New Mexico University. The Wildcats of ACU came away with that win in double overtime. A great series overall, but ACU has controlled it since 2008, winning all of them. Now, Eastern New Mexico is the hot team right now, winning their last 3 games.
You also have 2 of the best scorers in the league going against each other today.
You've got Mac Langford from ACU and Precious Heron from Eastern New Mexico. 2 different styles. Langford plays on the perimeter predominantly, and Precious Heron plays in the interior, but 1-2 in the league in scoring. Should be a great battle.
Now, Travis, today is an afternoon broadcast. Obviously, it throws up our own personal timing. As a player, what does an afternoon game do for you as a player?
It changes up your entire routine. You're used to getting up and having some time, then going to shoot around, and then eating. You just got to adjust your entire schedule, and a lot of us are creatures of habit. You're used to that same routine before every game, so it changes that a little bit, but you adjust, and when the ball's tipped, you're ready to go. All
right, coming up in the pregame show, we both head coaches Shauna Lavender and Lindsey Wilson for both teams. This is the Lone Star Conference on Fox Sports Southwest.com.
We strive for academic excellence. We believe in engaging our community. We're proud of our tradition. We exemplify respect on and off the field. We conduct ourselves with integrity, and we're committed to being the best. That's why we're the one. Lone Star Conference, we're the one.
Welcome back here in Abilene, Texas, here at Moody Gymnasium. I'm Don Veith, alongside me Travis Whipple on this Lone Star Conference broadcast on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. We're going to talk about Eastern New Mexico to start things off here and their key players.
So they're 8-13 overall and 6-9 in the LSC. 3-game win streak that we talked about, and we'll start with Precious Heron, number 21, a 5'10" senior forward from Shreveport, Louisiana. 16.6 points per game, second in the LSC, and 6.1 rebounds per game, which is 11th in the LSC. Shoots a great percentage, 55% from the field, which is second in the LSC. And then number 23, Kiara Tate, 5'6" senior guard from Chicago, Illinois. Almost 12 points per game, 16th in the LSC in scoring, 28 steals, which leads the team, 81% free throw shooter, and 4 rebounds. It does a little bit of everything for the Zias of Eastern New Mexico University.
Now head coach Lindsey Wilson, first year here in the Lone Star Conference, has an opportunity to get her team in her first year into the Lone Star Conference tournament at the end of the month. Here's what she had to say about today's game.
I'm joined by head coach of the Zias, Lindsey Wilson. Coach, thanks for joining us. Team's hot right now, 3-game winning streak.
Yeah, we're doing all the right things right now. We're taking care of the basketball, we're scoring on the offensive end, and most importantly, we're playing as a team.
Absolutely, and already had a matchup once this season with the Wildcats, a double overtime thriller.
That's really when I think we started to turn the corner of playing hard, playing together, and taking care of the basketball. Hopefully today we can have a different outcome.
Absolutely, and for you, keys for the Zias to win tonight?
Boxing out, same as last time you guys were here. We had to box out and limit people's second and third chance opportunities.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. Good luck. This is the LSC on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Welcome back here in Abilene, Texas, here in Moody Gymnasium. I'm Don Veith. Alongside me, Travis Whipple again here on our pregame show. We're going to talk about the home team, Abilene Christian, and their key players. They got a big-time student athlete on top of their team.
Well, absolutely, Don. And they're 8-13 overall, 3-12 in the LSC. A must-win tonight for them, as they've been to 5 straight LSC tournaments. Really need a win to stay in the hunt. And you talked about that big-time player, number 14, Mac Langford, 5'7" sophomore guard from Weatherford, Texas. Leads the LSC in scoring at 19.7 per game, 28 steals, leads the team. Also leads the team in minutes per game, 30.5. Very versatile player for him, important key to their team. And then number 31, Kelsey Smith, 6'2", junior center from Capel, Texas, 14.2 points per game, 6 in the LSC. 44 blocks, which leads the team, and 7.6 rebounds per game, 4th in the LSC. Gets it done on the inside, shoots 46% from the field and 80% from the line. A solid player for the Wildcats.
And you talked about a little bit Shauna Lavender, her 8th season here in Abilene, 3rd longest tenured head coach and all the Wildcat staff. Here's what she had to say about today's matchup with the Zias.
I'm joined by head coach of the Wildcats, Shauna Lavender. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Absolutely.
A big one for you. You got a win earlier this year at Eastern New Mexico in double overtime.
Yeah, it was a big win for us. Right before the end of the game and before our first overtime, our leading scorer, Mac Langford, went out with an injury, and it was great to see our team pull together in those 2 overtimes without her, to steal a win on the road. And in our league right now, anytime you can get a win on the road, it's obviously a very good win.
Absolutely. You talked about Mac Langford, and on the other side, Precious Heron.
Right.
Pretty good scoring matchup, 1-2 in the conference right now.
It really is, and hopefully they're not guarding each other. Hopefully Mac does not get stuck guarding Precious today, but Heron is a great post player. She's very, very hard to guard. She's got a great turnaround jumper, does a great job on the offensive boards, and has a great touch around the basket. Obviously a very difficult matchup for us. We'll have Kelsey Smith on her a lot today and hopefully be able to at least slow her down. You're probably not ever going to actually contain her. You just want to hopefully slow her down a little bit. Mac, I think, is a hard matchup for anybody that's guarding her. She can do a lot of different things. She's hard to guard off the dribble. She can shoot, pretty much from anywhere on the floor. And so, hopefully Mac's hitting today, and, hopefully we can at least, slow Heron down a little bit today. Should be a good battle. We're both fighting right now to stay in the race, and, it's see who comes out, wants it a little bit more, but it'll be a battle for 40 minutes. And, Coach Wilson's done a great job with her team this year, and they've really started playing well here in the second round of conference play.
Absolutely. And how about for you, keys for the Wildcats today?
I think for us is we've got to play 40 minutes. We've really struggled with that this year. We'll play great for 30 or 35 minutes of the game, and those 5 minutes where we have a letdown has really come back to haunt us in a lot of games. We have to be able to stay in it for 40 minutes today and play with a lot of intensity.
Well, good luck. Thanks for joining us. This is the LSC on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. We'll be right back. LSC would like to thank the following corporate partners. Firestone, we keep your car running newer, longer. 3 shops, 1 stop, maintenance, repairs, and tires. AccuConference, providing conference calling for the Lone Star Conference. Shutt Sports, official softball helmet of the Lone Star Conference. Alpha Graphics, providing printing solutions for the Lone Star Conference. My Sports Streams, providing fundraising solutions for Lone Star Conference member institutions. Bravo Health, community engagement partner of the Lone Star Conference. Adidas, official supplier of the Lone Star Conference. Jostens, official ring provider of the Lone Star Conference. Wilson, the official basketball of the LSC. In the Lone Star Conference, we're committed to respect, integrity, tradition, community, and academic excellence. Lone Star Conference, we're the one. Fans, don't forget to like the Lone Star Conference on Facebook. It's the best way to stay connected to all the latest information from around the league and join the conversation with other LSC fans. For an easy way to follow the latest happenings in the Lone Star Conference, be sure to follow the LSC on Twitter. Get scoring updates, event reminders, and breaking news when you follow the Lone Star Conference on Twitter.
Welcome back here in Abilene Christian University in Moody Coliseum. I'm Don Veith. Travis Whipple's alongside of me. Another big matchup here in the Lone Star Conference. The Eastern New Mexico trying to sneak in there as right now the 8th seed in the conference tournament. If the season ended today, they have an opportunity to get to the 8th spot, the 7th spot coming up.
Yeah, they're right there, and what a dangerous team. We had them earlier in one of our first broadcasts against Texas Women's University, who had a huge win, by the way, the other night against Tarleton at home, knocking them off. But Eastern New Mexico, a tremendous team, very dangerous, and you mentioned it. They're right in the thick of things to get in the tournament. And then on the other side, you've got the Wildcats fighting to get in as well. They've been there 5 straight seasons. Coach Lavender wants to be there. She's fired up about it. And so real good matchup today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Abilene Christian, a rich community with plenty of history as well.
Yeah, much like all of the Lone Star Conference member institutions, great tradition here. You look around at the banners, and you see men's indoor track and field won the national championship in 2011. You just go down the line with all the sports, and exciting to see. And we're fired up to be on campus today. Kind of really unique for us, afternoon game, and we're excited about that.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The history between these two teams have leaned kind of one direction, Travis.
Yeah, specifically since 2008, the Wildcats have owned this series, and the Zias haven't come away with a win yet. They are the hot team, though. When you talk about the Zias, they've won 3 in a row. I think really playing well, and it rests on Precious Heron, their go-to player on the inside.
As you see on the screen, men's indoor track and field won the national championship in 2011. So very recently, they were able to bring home a national championship for the Lone Star Conference and for their school.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Great representatives of the Lone Star Conference, and certainly glad to have them as a member institution and the things that they bring, not only athletically, but when you talk about in the classroom and all the other things that come along with a strong program.
Yeah, you look at both these teams, very strong academically along with their ability on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the values that we talk about all the time for the Lone Star Conference is academic excellence. That's what it's all about. We want these student athletes to be prepared for life, to come away from their institution with a great degree and ready to face the world.
All right, we're going to take another break. We'll come back with the starting lineups coming up here after this. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Your Hoops Fix, February 29th through March 4th, when the Lone Star Conference Basketball Tournament lands at the Allen Event Center. 5 days, 14 games. It's one big wake-up basketball Lone Star style. Go to LoneStarConference.org for more info.
We strive for academic excellence. We believe in engaging our community. We're proud of our tradition. We exemplify respect on and off the field. We conduct ourselves with integrity, and we're committed to being the best. That's why we're the one. Lone Star Conference, we're the one.
LSC fans, it's free food, free games, free fun. 2012 Lone Star Conference Fan Fest, followed by 2 men's basketball games at 6 and 8:30. For more information, go to lonestarconference.org.
Welcome back here in Moody Coliseum, home of the Abilene Christian University Wildcats. You see the Eastern New Mexico Zias on the screen. Let's go through their starting lineups this afternoon. As we talked about before, Kara Tate scored 40 games early this season as well. Jasmine Johnson, another good post player for the Wildcats, and Karen Grant. And now coming off the bench, you'll probably going to see most likely Precious coming off the bench pretty fast. Really kind of interesting how they do that, Travis, having their best scoring player coming off the bench.
Well, yeah, Precious Heron provides a great spark off the bench, but keys for the Zias tonight: attack the glass and get Precious Heron touches inside. ACU has a good-sized front line that will challenge her, and then, of course, knowing where Mac Langford is at all times.
And the Wildcats will go through them right now, too. Mac Langford, leading scorer in the LSC. Actually, she's 11th in the nation in points as well. She's also, you know what, believe it or not, a sign language interpreter. And then Kelsey Smith, a transfer from Missouri State, as well. And Shauna Lavender, 8th season as the head coach for the Wildcats. 3rd longest tenured coach here in ECU.
And keys for the Wildcats, it's all about defense. Right now they're 9th in the LSC, giving up 72.7 points per game. And then I think also they need to get points at the free throw line, as they're the 2nd best team in the LSC in shooting at 72%. And you heard Coach Lavender talk about this in the pregame. They need to play a full 40 minutes, lay it all on the line. They're playing for their tournament lives today. A big one for them here at Moody Coliseum.
Wildcats in the white uniforms. Zias are in the green uniforms. Starring players for Abilene Christian: Langford, Adam Marquez, Smith, and Parliament. Parliament with the ball. Marquez now gets it inside to Smith. Smith, the jumper, no good.
Well, I think good to go inside early to Smith, 14.2 points per game. A great force on the interior for the Wildcats.
Althai drives in lane, gets it over to Grant. Grant for 3, in there. We'll start things off this afternoon.
Grant, 5.2 points per game, 32% from downtown. Got to know where she's at.
Wildcats shoot a 3 of their own, and it's tied.
Great pass by Mac Langford, finding the open Wildcat student athlete for 3. A little bit of a zone look here by ACU.
Althide with the ball. Drives in the lane, gets it over to Northcutt. Northcutt for 3, rims off, rebound, back by Eastern New Mexico, and a foul on the court.
Looks like Jasmine Johnson will get hit with an over the back. And good crash, though, by the Zias going after it. You love that. Just a little too much on the inside and got hit with the foul.
Northcutt will run the point. Said it before, 11th leading scorer in the nation. Hits the 3, though, as well. They add on to her total.
Mac Langford, got to know where she's at. Almost 20 points per game. Shoots it at 30% from downtown. Can't lose her defensively if you're the Zias. Absolutely have to know where she's at all times.
Grant in the lane, gets knocked down by Smith.
That's that front line that we were talking about from the Wildcats. They're tough. Smith has 44 blocks on the season, so if you're going to go in there, you can't go in tentatively.
Tate in the game for the Zias. Had a season-high 40 earlier this season. Wildcats get the rebound after the missed 3.
Great pass by Mac Langford. Not only can she score, she distributes the basketball well, has great court vision. Didn't lead to anything there for ACU, but you'd love to see them push the tempo a little bit.
Parliament with the ball. Now over to Marquez. 6 left in the shot clock. 3, actually a long 2. 8-3 is your score.
Marquez, 6th member of her family to play college basketball. Great genes there. 11 points per game on the season.
Eastern New Mexico down by 5. Now they kick out for a 3. Rims out. Langford drives in the lane, gets it and 1.
5 early points for Mac Langford. 2 of 2 from the field. Got that replay here as she gets it on the wing, isolation play, and just goes strong left for the finish.
Zia's call a timeout. They trail by 7 so far. Travis, what do they need to do after falling behind here early?
Well, first thing, you'd love to get on a good start on the road. Obviously, that's out right now. It's 10-3, and you just got to go one possession at a time. But I think if you look at it offensively, they're settling for 3-point shots against that zone. They're not attacking it. They're not getting the ball into the middle. And now we'll also see Precious Heron into the game. And so I think likely we'll get some touches inside for them. But they can't just settle for threes against that zone.
Yeah, from the field, Eastern New Mexico, 17%. Abilene Christian, 80%. From the field. Langford will go up to the line for the and 1 opportunity, and she knocks it down.
73% free throw shooter, gets there quite a bit.
8-point lead for the Wildcats.
Little trap up top, and they'll get Mac Langford for the foul up top. It's a little too aggressive, maybe a little bit of a slap there, and Wildcats will fall back into that zone again.
Precious Heron shoots it. She's very good, Travis. She doesn't miss a whole lot.
She gets really good position. If you look here, ACU actually did a good job of getting her away from the basket a little bit and then just made the mistake of trying for the block and getting the foul. I think would have been a tough shot for her to make, but they fouled her and she gets to the line. And as you mentioned, a pretty good free throw shooter, 70% on the season. But from the field, she's lights out, 55%. So she has a high efficiency on offense.
She also scored 40 points earlier this season against Tarleton. Abilene Christian with the ball. Northcutt. Actually, it was Langford. Northcutt was on the guard there, and Langford misses the 3. So,
as ACU, you don't mind that shot at all. Your best player, your best scorer, and that's fine. She's 2 for 2 until that shot, so you don't mind it. Look for her to attack and continue to be aggressive.
And whistle away from the bucket. And foul called.
Got that little screen and roll there, and Mac just kind of reroutes, goes baseline, and they pick up the foul to the Zias.
Marquez jumper no good, and last touch was by Herring, and it'll stay with the Wildcats.
It's a good tip. Just Tori Northcutt not quite in the right position, but sometimes that's the best play you can make is to tip it to keep it away from offensive rebounders.
Try to get it inside over to Smith, and the Zias take the ball back over.
Tara Johnson did a great job getting in the passing lane on that one for the Zias.
Grant inside of Herring, they lose it.
Looks like there's going to be 2-3 defenders all night
And
on the interior on Heron.
That was a pass intended to Adam, and it goes out of bounds. So both teams turning the ball over. And the Zias, and we saw them earlier this season, one of their keys is to cut down the turnovers.
Absolutely. They need to care of the basketball every single time. You know, they rely a lot on inside scoring, and so you don't want to limit your possessions by turning the basketball over.
Northcutt getting double teamed. Now Tate hits the jumper. Cutting the Wildcat lead to 4.
A great decision, a great move by Tate, and they've got to have more of that as the game wears on.
And our whistle, this is going to go against the Zias. And there'll be a timeout. 11-7 is your score with Wildcats on top of the Zias here at Abilene Christian University. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Launch yourself into the future of technology at Eastern New Mexico University in Portales. When you experience the Eastern Way, you'll experience a state-of-the-art computer center, full access to the internet in classrooms and residence halls, college credit instructional TV courses in different cities and high schools, even student-produced programs on Eastern's own public radio and TV stations. For registration information or how to get launched aboard one of Eastern's 60 undergraduate and graduate majors, call 1-800-4-ENMU.
Welcome back, 11-7 with the Wildcats on top of the Zias. Plenty of early fouls for the Zias. They have 4 already, with Langford going up to the line. She has 6 points.
6 points and has done a great job being aggressive. Knocks that one down, but being aggressive, getting to the line. She also made an early 3. Great all-around player. We talked about her. One of the top scorers in the NCAA, best in the LSC.
Hits both of them, so it's going to be 13-7 with Langford accumulating more than half of the Wildcat points so far. Herring inside, misses the jumper, and the Wildcats will take over.
Really good pass there by Tori Northcutt. Does a lot for the Zias. Unfortunate that Herring couldn't finish that one, but great pass.
Pass intended inside to Parliament, and it goes out of bounds, so a turnover for the Wildcats.
Some early turnovers for the Wildcats that have hampered them a little bit. Otherwise, this lead might be a little bit bigger. So look for them to continue to take care of the basketball as we move forward.
Precious Herring inside the lane. Gets it this time. You're going to keep her down so long.
If she gets the basketball that low in the paint, she's going to score. She can elevate. Very strong player. Good rebound there by Kiera Tate. She'll push it.
Grant driving the lane. Jumper off the front iron. Gets her own rebound, and be a kick ball, and it'll stay with the Zias.
Good one here early. Zia's getting back into it now, just down by 4, but certainly I think need to continue to attack the middle of that zone, making sure Precious Herring's getting some looks.
Precious Herring in the lane, gets the and one. We talked about her missing the first few jumpers. She hits next 2, and she'll have an opportunity to have 5 points.
Well, if you look right here, great pass by Grant to get it inside. I mean, that's a tough look when you've got 2 Wildcat defenders on her, and she's going to see that all night long. So they need to be effective in their passing, maybe a pass fake and get it in, or even an extra dribble sometimes.
So Herring will go up to the line and hits it. Perfect from the charity stripe, 3 for 3, 6 points. So
she'll get a quick breather here, but provides such great energy off the bench, and it is so rare. You talked about it earlier, Don, to have your leading scorer come off the bench, but it's worked so well for the Zias, and you got to credit Coach Wilson to really understand her team and know how they perform best.
Langford with the ball. Just 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Now they get to Marquez. Marquez for three. Good.
Great pass by Langford, and as you mentioned, Marquez knocks that one down. 33% from behind the arc, so certainly is more than capable of knocking it down. You got to know where she's at on the court.
Tate gets it over to Grant. Grant shoots a three. Gets her a rebound after missing the three. Now to Tate. Clark now spins off the rim. Eastern New Mexico doing a good job keeping the ball.
Jasmine Johnson got on the boards there, tipped it out, and the Zias will get a reset on their shot clock and a chance to do it again.
Tate inside to Johnson. A foul called.
Good pass by Tate, a good all-around player, as we'll see that right here. Good pass inside to Jasmine Johnson, and I'm glad they're continuing to be intentional about going inside, even though Precious Heron took a seat for a little bit. Absolutely important against that zone to get it into the middle, attack, and get some points in the paint. Very important for the Zias.
Oh, Jasmine Johnson will go at the line. We featured her on our last broadcast for the Zias.
Yeah, she's a great all-around player for them and does a lot of things. Very athletic, as you saw her get that tip out. They kept that possession alive, and then she got to get to the line because of it.
Langford will have the ball, run the point for the Wildcats. Marquez now gets it inside the Parliament. Parliament spin around jumper off the backboard.
Grant gets that one, sorry, Don. Pulls it down and pushes it all the way to the basket.
Grant tries to go coast to coast, misses the jumper. Wildcats take back over. And another missed shot. Wildcats will reset the shot clock and get the ball back. Marquez gets it inside to Reno. Reno underneath the lane, gets it over to Parliament, and she's fouled.
Paige Parliament, 6'1", freshman center, as we see that replay here. Just established good position and a real nice pass there by the Wildcats. Good interior passing, which is difficult to do in tight spaces.
Well, Parliament will go to the line. Takes a few rattles, that one drops in. Abilene Christian perfect from the line, 4 for 4 this afternoon.
Parliament almost 9 points a game and almost 4.5 rebounds per game, so real effective, 74% free throw shooter.
Clark gets it over to Tate. Tate inside to Johnson, and the whistle's called.
Turnover for Eastern New Mexico University Zias, and as we look at the turnover battle, it's all knotted up right now, 3 apiece for both teams.
Sadie Dickinson checked into the game, replacing Adam. Pass inside to Reno. Scramble in the court, though, and a jump ball is going to be called, and we'll go to Eastern New Mexico.
It was a real tough passing angle for Sadie Dickinson to try to get that ball inside on that one, and it'll result in the Zias getting it, but I thought she had Mac Langford wide open on the perimeter for the jumper.
Tate trying to push in and gets it to Clark. Clark jumper no good. Wildcats will take the ball back.
Great pass by Tate. She does such a nice job slashing, getting into the lane, and found an open Zia, couldn't knock it down.
Dickinson gets the 2 and comes on the court, comes off the bench and gets the job done.
40% field goal shooter, shoots it pretty high percentage.
Tate inside to Jasmine Johnson, drops it down. Cuts it down to a 6-point Wildcat lead.
Tate leads the team in assists, does a nice job creating for others, also can create for herself.
Another point bucket in for the Wildcats. So back and forth scoring for both teams.
Marquez with that bucket. Averages 11 a game, does a nice job for the Wildcats.
Tate to Johnson off the backboard. underneath the court, and it'll go to the Wildcats after we come back. 22-14 is your score with the Wildcats on top of the Zias here in Abilene Christian University. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. to 14 is your score here in Abilene, Texas. Both teams coming out of their huddles. Zias have been trailing this whole game as the Wildcats have gotten the job done so far, shooting 54% from the field.
Absolutely. They got off to a hot start, and on the other side, the Zias throughout the season don't shoot a tremendous percentage. They rely a lot on rebounds and creating some turnovers. They've hit the boards with 7 offensive rebounds, but they need to shoot it at a little higher percentage, making sure they're getting good looks.
Pass sails out of bounds, and it'll go back to Eastern New Mexico.
Scoring leaders, Precious Heron checking back in, 7 points tonight. And on the other side, the Wildcats, Marquez 10. And we talked a lot about Lankford, but Marquez can really put up some numbers too.
Tate with the ball, now gets it to Johnson, and a 3-point bucket is good from Northcutt.
A great ball movement there by the Zias, and it all started with Kiara Tate, who's got excellent court vision.
Lankford's 3 no good off the front iron. Tate will take the ball across court. Gets them inside to Alfeed. And now it is 22-19 as a timeout's called by the Wildcats as they saw their lead dwindle down to 3.
Another great pass by Kiara Tate, who, like we said here a number of times in this broadcast, does such a great job seeing the floor, seeing open players, and a lot of times anticipates by passing, which that person will then make another pass to the open person. So she does a great job distributing. Timeout by the Wildcats is now it's a close game, 3-point game.
As you see the Zias there, head coach Lindsey Wilson, first-year head coach, trying to guide her team to a postseason berth.
I think it'd be huge for their program, and she's done an outstanding job. Coach Lavender commented about that in the pregame, just how great of a job Wilson has done. You know, spent 5 years at Texas Arlington and got that Division I type experience, and so I think that's really helped her out.
I'll remind you, the viewers out there, they were picked last in the preseason coaches poll.
Absolutely.
Wildcats with the ball, and it's turned over again. That's 6 so far this afternoon. Tate on the right wing, no, over to Northcutt, now loses to Herring, so now that's their 5th turnover, so both teams turn the ball over. That one just runs out of bounds. So
well, great hustle by Tate on that one to come from behind on Lankford and tip it out of bounds. Otherwise, she might have gotten to the free throw line or scored a layup.
The Wildcats will keep the ball. As Perez will inbound it. Lankford will drive in the lane. And the pass. Don't know if she was trying to pass it or make a jumper, but either way, that's a 2-point bucket, actually, by Adam.
Hillary Adam knocks that one down. overall, pretty good defense that possession by the Zias.
Wildcats go for the rebound, and they do not get it. Precious Heron pulls it down after they missed three-point bucket, and it's a jump ball.
Precious Heron on the offensive glass, averages over 6 rebounds per game. Did a nice job, but also credit ACU there to get the tie up, the jump ball, and they'll take over possession of it.
Possession will go to the Wildcats, as you saw Heron. 7 points this afternoon. As we have another substitution, Jasmine Johnson will check in for Precious Heron.
Looked like Precious Heron might have gotten poked in the eye or hit in the face a little bit on that possession. Kind of came up and looked like something was going on, and we'll talk with the trainer a little bit. Hopefully she'll be all right and be back in the game quickly.
Langford will get the ball. She's probably one of the few players on the court that's played since the starting tip. She'll go for a three. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to like her game. Does a lot of everything for the Wildcats, but scoring, obviously her forte. 11 points already this afternoon.
Grant inside to Johnson. To Johnson in the court. Now 2-point shot rattles out as her foot was in line. Wildcats take over. Langford will take the ball coast to coast. And the whistle is on the floor.
She does a great job. Obviously has that spurt ability, that speed burst, but she also does a good job of changing speeds. She's a little slow up there. Got the defender to think about it, crossed over, and then got the foul.
Langford, 11 points. 3 for 3 from the charity stripe. No good, and ECU with a 8-point lead over the Zias.
About a 74% free throw shooter as Langford knocks that one down.
Both teams with 6 turnovers. Grant with the ball, gets it over to Northcutt. As they get inside, and back to Grant. Elfried will drive in the lane, gets inside to Jasmine Johnson, 6'2".
Great pass, great finish by Johnson. Zias do a tremendous job of finding those spaces in the zone so far today and passing it for layups.
Wildcats air ball a 3. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Wildcats when we come back. 28-21. ACU on top of Eastern New Mexico. This is Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Hey LSC fans, it's free food, free games, free fun. 2012 Lone Star Conference Fan Fest, followed by 2 men's basketball games at 6 and 8:30. For more information, go to LoneStarConference.org.
(28-21) with the Wildcats on top of the Zias. Mighty One Fan Fest coming up, and the Lone Star Conference Tournament coming up at the end of the month.
February 29th through March 4th, Allen Event Center. 8 women's teams, 8 men's teams. Going to be an outstanding tournament. Great location, Destination Allen, lots to do. Shopping, restaurants, and of course, basketball.
6 left in the shot clock. Langford gets it over to Reno. 2 left and off the rim. Heron Drake pulls it down.
She just goes up and gets the basketball. Phenomenal job.
Grant gets the tip off the Wildcats. Northcutt will take over with 15 on the shot clock. Elfried will spin around. 2-point shot off the back iron. Rebound by the Wildcats.
Great box out by Hillary Adam. Boxed out Precious Heron. Not an easy task.
No good, and Elfie will get it over to Grant. Grant takes a few rounds off the rim and drops in.
Grant's played some good minutes so far this afternoon for the Zias. Averages 5.2 points per game. Again, one of those players that does a lot of the little things. And Coach Wilson talked about how her team is doing those little things. That's what's led to this 3-game winning streak.
Marquez with the ball, drives in the lane, takes the jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net again, and it's a 7-point Wildcat lead over the Zias.
Marquez has played well. Her and Langford leading the Wildcats today, and the Zias haven't had an answer for them, really. Have not been able to slow those two down.
Couple substitutions for both teams.
Tate back in for Eastern New Mexico, does a great job. For them, you know, a taller player, a very difficult matchup, plays a lot of point for him, distributes the basketball so well, but also a good slashing wing that can create her own shot too.
A couple other substitutions for the Wildcats. Kelsey Smith and Sadie Dickinson checks in before the inbound pass. Tate with the ball, gets it to Grant. Now the Northcutt for 3, but a foul was called before the shot.
Northcutt certainly one of the better 3-point shooters for the Zias. And as you mentioned, shot didn't count on that one, foul beforehand.
So Northcutt will get the ball back and gets it over to Tate. Now to Grant for 3. Rattles off the rim, and Kelsey Smith pulls it down.
Good look by the Zias. Just rattled out a little bit there for them, but I think good offensive set for them.
Dickinson over to Perez. Now to Smith. Spins around, takes the bucket in. The transfer from Missouri State.
Smith, big-time presence on the inside for the Wildcats, averages 14, has been slowed down a little bit today. That was her first 2 of the basketball game.
Jasmine Johnson has the ball, gets it back to Grant. They look like they want to get it inside to Tate, and they now do. 9 left in the shot clock. Tate drives the lane, gets it to Johnson. Johnson stuffed underneath the bucket.
Good little bounce pass by Tate, but nothing doing for the Zias.
Parliament with the ball. Now over to Dickinson. Trying to get inside to Smith. Smith, offset jumper, rattles off the rim. Great job by Dickinson to keep the possession with the Wildcats. Now she'll shoot the 3 off the front iron. Rebound by Jasmine Johnson.
Before that shot, I liked how ACU was intentional about getting it inside to Smith right now because Langford's on the bench. And so is Marquez.
Tate shot, no good. Perez will take the ball for the Wildcats. And now to Dickinson. Dickinson gets fouled as she's taking the shot. She will go to the line.
A good drive there by Sadie Dickinson, 5'10 freshman forward.
Wildcats will be going to the line after the timeout. 32-23 ACU on top of Eastern New Mexico. This is Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Welcome back. As Dickinson will take their first free throw, and it's good. Extend it to a 10-point lead for the Wildcats.
Dickinson about a 62% free throw shooter on the season, and you look statistically, this game you would think might be a little bit closer, but Wildcats doing such a great job getting to the line and knocking them down.
So it's now 11-point Wildcat lead over the Zias.
Of course, the Wildcats have been in that 2-3 zone, kind of a matchup style, 2-3. They play that middle person up a little bit, and it's been effective for them.
Northcutt with the ball, 8 left on the shot clock.
Typically when you think zone, you think it's tough to rebound, but the Wildcats have done a good job defensively.
Tough shot at the 3 with a hand in her face. It goes back to the Wildcats with Langford. Langford off the back iron. Ball pops loose, and the possession arrow is going to go towards the Wildcats. Made to the Zias.
Good drive there by Langford. Couldn't quite get the bucket to go, but she does such a good job at getting contact out of the defender. Surprised a little bit there that she didn't go to the line. Gets to the line quite often, as we've discussed throughout this broadcast, but does a good job with that.
Northcutt spins around a couple defenders. Alfie loses the ball, though. 7th turnover for the Zias. Langford gets double teamed. Now turns the ball back over to the Zias. So both teams with 7 turnovers.
Too many for both teams, and especially kind of uncharacteristic of Eastern New Mexico.
Jasmine Johnson bails out Tara Johnson. Elfleet gets taken down by a couple Wildcat defenders. They'll take the ball back over.
Tough to score on the interior against the Wildcats.
Down off the front iron as a whistle's called. As Langford flops on the floor.
Nice little pull up there by Marquez. Couldn't get it to go down, and then 34 Paige Parliament was fouled on that, going for the offensive board. Excuse me, they've got Mac Langford at the line. Looked like on that highlight reel, it might have been Paige Parliament.
1-on-1 opportunity. Takes a few rounds off the rim and will not drop in. Eastern New Mexico will take over. Grant gets inside the Herring. Herring jumper rattles off the back of the rim. Langford will take over.
Good look by Herring. You have to like how she kept the ball up high there. Didn't bring it down for guards to come in there and steal it. Kept it up and shot it. Just didn't go.
Smith gets the spin around jumper. Extends their lead to 13.
4 points now for Smith. They've been a little bit more intentional the second half of this first half and getting her the basketball inside.
Herring rails up as the lid is shut on the basket for Eastern New Mexico. They're shooting below 30% here in the first half.
And credit the Wildcat defense. They are big on the interior, tough to score on them.
Langford gets the jumper. She has 14 points in the first half alone. She averages 20. She's already halfway there.
4 of 9 from the field. Just such a high efficiency player. Makes the most out of her possessions. Like we said, it's got the speed bursts and gets to the basket very easily.
Northcutt for 3, and they're going to call a whistle on Langford. That will be her second foul.
Of course, Azia's on the offensive glass again. That time it was Grant getting that rebound, but they do such a good job offensive rebounding. Today they've got 10. They just crash. It's something they do very well.
The ball goes straight out of bounds.
Out of my reach, as usual. A minute 2 to play.
With 101 on the clock left.
I don't think anybody expected this type of first half. Teams played earlier this season. ACU squeaked a double overtime win. Eastern New Mexico had won 3 in a row coming in today. And right now a 15-point lead for the Wildcats.
Marquez will hand the ball over to to Perez. 12 left in the shot clock. Now underneath the bucket is a whistle's called. And it's going to be a turnover. And it'll be Eastern New Mexico with the ball with 40 seconds left.
The Wildcats have done a lot right in this first half. I think the one thing is a few too many turnovers with 8 here in the first half.
Elfeed over to Northcutt. Now to Grant. Grant works a couple defenders. Now gets it over to Elfeed. She'll spin around. Jumper. No good. Takes her own rebound and drops it in there. With 12 seconds left on the clock, the Wildcats have the ball.
I think a big basket there for the Zias going into halftime.
5 left, 3, and off the rim. Rebound is no good before the buzzer. It is 38-25. Wildcats on top of the Zias. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Hey LSC fans, it's free food, free games, free fun. 2012 Lone Star Conference Fan Fest, followed by 2 men's basketball games at 6 and 8:30. For more information, go to LoneStarConference.org.
Welcome back here at halftime in Abilene, Texas. Your halftime score right now, 38-25. A little lopsided affair in the first half, but you never know what can happen here in the second half.
Well, this Eastern New Mexico team fights hard, and so I expect them to have an excellent second half and get back into it. A little bit of a surprise, a 13-point lead here for ACU, but hey, they're playing for their tournament lives. They've got nothing to lose. They're going to put it all out there, and credit Marquez and Mac Langford in the first half played some exceptional minutes.
Yeah, Langford leads all scorers with 14 points, with Marquez with 12 for the Eastern New Mexico Zias. Third leading scorer is Precious Herring with 7 points. Not doing too good from the field, Travis, 28%.
They've struggled, and I think part of it was early they were settling for jumpers against that zone. And then the second thing is you've got to credit ACU's defense. They've got some big, physical, lengthy players in there that make it difficult to get easy looks. And Eastern New Mexico relies a lot on their inside scoring.
Yeah, the Lone Star Conference also has plenty of values they care about their student athletes.
Absolutely. Organizational values, a huge key for the LSC, and we've got a great video that showcases those coming up here, and we'll certainly be back to talk more about this matchup.
All right, we'll be back with more stats and analysis in the second half coming up here on the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
think tradition is essential to the lifeblood of any institution and any athletic department. When you consider tradition, that's really the one thing. It speaks excellence. It speaks things that are very important to the people who have come through and laid the groundwork for your programs in the past. And it's really the one element that really ties people together and ties just the element of success and excellence to those that are in the program now.
Commitment to me is exercising discipline in your endeavors, whether it's academically, athletically, in my position and role as an assistant athletic director or whatever. And the discipline side of it is, in my mind, is doing what needs to be done, the way it needs to be done, every time.
Integrity in athletics should be a reflection of the value that we place on integrity within the entire institution. Integrity is really the bedrock. It's the foundation upon which everything else we do is built. The thing that I stress to our students especially is not only the reality of integrity, but the perception of integrity. Yeah, it's important to do the right thing. It's important to do the right thing for the right reason. But it's also important for other people to know that you're doing the right thing.
Academic excellence is every student athlete having success in the classroom so that they have an opportunity to get a marketable degree to advance in life as they leave the university.
You know, when you talk about a bridge, building between the community and Tarleton, I think that we have more than a bridge. I think we have a 4-lane highway right now because we have so much interaction between our community. They have a ownership in Tarleton State University. They feel like they are so welcomed here. They feel like they are a part of this university. And when you can build that special relationship between university and community, I think you have something that is a win-win situation. I think it's something that you can really build on.
I think respect is very important in your team, and within your team you have to respect each other as players and respect your coaching staff. And we talk about a lot that respect comes down to the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Look each other in the eye when they're talking. Body language, always have positive body language. So respect is essential in order to have a good team and a good program.
My name is Stan Wagner, Commissioner of the Lone Star Conference. Our mission in the Lone Star Conference is to foster student participation and success among member institutions in Division II athletics as a part of the total educational program on each campus. We're committed to developing student athletes and preparing them for life ahead, and we're doing that with particular emphasis on integrity and tradition, academic excellence, respect, community, and commitment. These 6 organizational values have made the Lone Star Conference what it is, and they will continue to shape our future success on the playing field, in the classroom, and in the community. Our actions should be guided by these values. Our decisions should be based on these values, and our story should be told using these values as our guide. The Lone Star Conference is unlike any other. It's unique. We have a proud past and an even brighter future. It's time we embrace our heritage. It's time we celebrate our strengths, and it's time we emphasize the values that help to define who we are as a group.
We strive for academic excellence. We believe in engaging our community. We're proud of our tradition. We exemplify respect on and off the field. We conduct ourselves with integrity, and we're committed to being the best. That's why we're the one. Lone Star Conference, we're the one.
The LSC would like to thank the following corporate partners. Firestone, we keep your car running newer, longer. 3 shops, 1 stop, maintenance, repairs, and tires. AccuConference, providing conference calling for the Lone Star Conference. Shut Sports, official softball helmet of the Lone Star Conference. Alpha Graphics, providing printing solutions for the Lone Star Conference. My Sports Streams, providing fundraising solutions for Lone Star Conference member institutions. Bravo Health, community engagement partner of the Lone Star Conference. Adidas, official supplier of the Lone Star Conference. Jostens, official ring provider of the Lone Star Conference.
Wilson, the official basketball of the LSC. In the Lone Star Conference, we're committed to respect, integrity, tradition, community, and academic excellence. Lone Star Conference, we're the one. Fans, don't forget to like the Lone Star Conference on Facebook. It's the best way to stay connected to all the latest information from around the league and join the conversation with other LSC fans. For an easy way to follow the latest happenings in the Lone Star Conference, be sure to follow the LSC on Twitter. Get scoring updates, event reminders, and breaking news when you follow the Lone Star Conference on Twitter.
Get your Hoops Fix February 29th through March 4th when the Lone Star Conference Basketball Tournament lands at the Allen Event Center. 5 days, 14 games. It's one big wake-up basketball Lone Star style. Go to LoneStarConference.org for more info.
Launch yourself into the future of technology at Eastern New Mexico University in Portales. When you experience the Eastern Way, you'll experience a state-of-the-art computer center, full access to the internet in classrooms and residence halls, college credit instructional TV courses in different cities and high schools, even student-produced programs on Eastern's own public radio and TV stations. For registration information or how to get launched aboard one of Eastern's 60 undergraduate and graduate majors, call 1-800-4ENMU.
Welcome back here at halftime. 38-25 here in Abilene Christian University. The Wildcats on top of the visiting Eastern New Mexico University Zias.
You know, they got off to a hot start early to the Wildcats, and they shot extremely well from the field early. They cooled off a little bit in that first half, but I think you look at 80% from the free throw line, got there 10 times. That was outstanding. And you look at Marquez and Langford. Marquez with 12, Langford with 14. The Zias just didn't have an answer for those two. And on the other side, of course, the Zias led by Precious Heron came off the bench, as she frequently does, and played pretty well. But I think a little bit the Zias settled for that outside shot, couldn't get it in. And again, you got to credit ACU's front line. They played pretty good defense.
Yeah. You look at Eastern New Mexico right now, 2 for 11 from the three-point arc. Kind of drifted away from what we saw over when we had their broadcast against Texas Women's about a week ago. Absolutely.
You know, their MO is get the ball inside, get open looks, get easy shots, run things through Precious Heron and Kiara Tate. And, you know, they had some success with that, but obviously the numbers would show that, you know, I think they settled a little bit for perimeter looks. And now in the second half, you really got to do some things to change it up because you're down 13.
Yeah, both teams with 8 turnovers. You like to see both these teams cut that down, but you know, when it's even across for both teams, I guess it kind of offsets itself.
Yeah, you know, the turnover battle's even. You know, the thing that I look at is ACU did a pretty good job on the boards. They're a +2 margin right now, 23-21. And Eastern New Mexico has done a tremendous job, as we've seen them this year, on the offensive glass. They did get some offensive rebounds, but I think the Wildcats did a pretty good job of limiting that, and they lead that rebounding margin overall.
Here in the second half, what do you expect either team to do here coming out?
You know, I think, first of all, Eastern New Mexico attacks the middle of that ACU zone. And for ACU, I think you continue to do what you've been doing. Your go-tos are Marquez and Langford. Continue to get them involved. Continue to look inside also to Kelsey Smith. And don't forget about her. Averages over 14 a game and can do some nice things in the interior for the Wildcats. But I think first 5 minutes of this half really important and are going to be indicative of the outcome of this game.
You look at Eastern New Mexico. We talked about Precious Herring being the leading scorer for them. Excellent jump shot shooter. Excellent percentage. You mentioned that before. 2 for 5 from the field. Most of her points are from the line, 3 for 3.
She does a tremendous job establishing position, getting fouled, and when she gets the line, she knocks them down. And I think another key for Eastern New Mexico, you don't want to settle for the 3, but you've got to take them and you've got to knock them down. Northcutt, normally a very good shooter, 1 of 5 from downtown in that first half. Grant, 1 of 3. Outside 0 of 2. Johnson, 0 of 1. And so, they just didn't get stability on that perimeter, which is what they need here in the second half.
What I've noticed is the vast size in the Wildcat players in their inside posts. It's kind of a difference between both these teams trying to work that inside for Eastern New Mexico, which has been their bread and butter.
Yeah, that's their bread and butter, and it's tough. The Wildcats are tough. I mean, that's their strength inside. Good size student athletes on the interior that make it difficult. They challenge every shot. You've seen 2-3 people surrounding Precious Herring, and as a matter of fact, Precious Herring's going to start the second half. Zias know how important this first 5 minutes is.
Tate with the ball, gets it to Johnson, over to Northcutt. Northcutt for 3 and gets it. So we'll see what happens here. You said the first 5 minutes are going to be the determining factor of seeing how the rest of this half will go. Eastern New Mexico going with a 3-point shot right away.
And Northcutt so important to this team. Such a vital key. It was didn't have the greatest first half, but comes out and knocks down a 3. That's a great sign for the Zias.
Langford tried going for the bucket and it was pulled down for Precious Herring, and Herring, a great rebounder.
Yeah, and you just love how she goes up out of her zone and grabs the ball. That's what makes her such a good rebounder.
Herring's shot no good, and Eastern New Mexico doing a great job here, keeping the ball, pulling down the boards.
And sometimes that happens with that zone. It's tough to rebound because you've got to go find a player to box out where you're guarding space.
Alfeed with the ball. 12 left on the shot clock. She was driving the lane. A little underhand shot goes in, and it cuts it down to an 8-point Wildcat lead.
Alfeed, great move to the basket. And we talked about her, and we talked about Northcutt being so important to this team, and they've come out and established themselves early in the second half. I think very important for the Zias.
And the whistle's called. And it's going to be on Herring. And it's going to be her first foul of the afternoon.
Baseline screen for Langford to get open.
Langford gets inside, and Northcutt and Althide talking underneath the post. Miscommunication, leaving Langford wide open.
And you can't have that. You'd rather have 2 people guarding her than nobody. Came off that baseline screen, didn't have the 3, and took it to the basket. Gotta like that.
A steal by the Wildcats. Marquez for 3, off the rim, pulled down by Northcutt.
Marquez really had a big first half, 12 points, was 5 of 7 from the field.
Althine in the left wing, now over to Jasmine Johnson. Ball gets tipped away by Langford. That shot no good, scramble the ball, ball's loose. Ends up in the hands of the Zias.
They do a great job of creating more possessions for themselves throughout the game.
Jumper, nothing but the bottom of the net by Northcutt, and she's been holding this team together here in the second half.
Well, 5 quick points in the second half, 8 overall for her.
Langford, shot no good and pulled down, tipped away by Precious Herring in Eastern New Mexico. Take it back over. Tate underneath the bucket, loses her footing and loses the ball, and it goes back to the Wildcats.
You feel like the intensity has just multiplied here in the second half. Much more intense. I think both teams are going at it right now. Should be a great finish to this one.
We'll slow down here with Marquez holding on to the ball. Now inside to Smith. Smith spins around, gets it in.
I think important for the Wildcats to not forget about Smith. Continue to get her looks, continue to be intentional. Averages over 14 a game, 7.6 rebounds. Great interior player for the Wildcats.
Marquez takes the ball again. Langford all the way off the backboard and no good, and a foul's call.
Langford did everything right on that one except for tried to go back to the right. Finished with that left hand strong, and I think she would have set herself up better to score that basket. And then, of course, the foul on Marquez there.
It was a 10-point lead with 16-17 left here in the second half. Northcutt with the ball, gets it inside to Johnson. Northcutt will take back over. Johnson off the iron, rebound by the Wildcats.
Well, that was a good look by the Zias there at Northcutt on that shot, but attacked the middle, and it was open, and it's going to be open the rest of the evening, and that's where you really have to have a focus, getting the ball in the middle.
Ball's turned back over. Both teams turn the ball over left and right. Shot no good. Ball's loose in the court. Langford will take back over midcourt. Langford off the rim, no good. Tall's taken back over by the Zias. Grant will take the ball back over. Jumper off the rim, no good. Rebound by the Zias.
Another offensive board by the Zias. Pace really picking up here.
Northcutt shoots a three off the back iron, no good, and Smith will take the board.
Couldn't quite get that one to go for the Zias, but the few possessions before that, great interior defense by the Wildcats. Couldn't get a shot off the Zias.
A foul's called in the court. There's going to be a line change for Eastern New Mexico after the timeout. 42-32 is your score with Abilene Christian on top of Eastern New Mexico. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Would like to thank the following corporate partners. Firestone, we keep your car running newer, longer. 3 shops, 1 stop, maintenance, repairs, and tires. AccuConference, providing conference calling for the Lone Star Conference. Shut Sports, official softball helmet of the Lone Star Conference. Alpha Graphics, providing printing solutions for the Lone Star Conference. My Sports Streams, providing fundraising solutions for Lone Star Conference member institutions. Bravo Health, community engagement partner of the Lone Star Conference. Adidas, official supplier of the Lone Star Conference. Jostens, official ring provider of the Lone Star Conference. Wilson, the official basketball of the LSC. In the Lone Star Conference, we're committed to respect, integrity, tradition, community, and academic excellence. Lone Star Conference, we're the one. Fans, don't forget to like the Lone Star Conference on Facebook. It's the best way to stay connected to all the latest information from around the league and join the conversation with other LSC fans. For an easy way to follow the latest happenings in the Lone Star Conference, be sure to follow the LSC on Twitter. Get scoring updates, event reminders, and breaking news when you follow the Lone Star Conference on Twitter.
Welcome back here in Abilene Christian University, home of the Wildcats in Moody Coliseum. Eastern New Mexico, a whole line change for them, heading back from the timeout.
Coach Wilson certainly didn't like what she was seeing out there. Kind of a frantic pace, up and down. Nobody really valuing the basketball there for a few minutes. And it was just about the time when you thought the Zias were kind of creeping back into it. Still now 12-point game.
Parliament hits both the shots from the charity stripe. Pace has definitely picked up here in the second half like we were talking before. Northcutt pulls around over to Williford and airballs it. And it's going to be a whistle called. The ball will go back to the Wildcats.
Certainly you got to send a message to your team, and I think a lot of Coach Wilson. I think she does a tremendous job, but the lineup on the court right now, I think, going to be tough to manufacture points, especially against this bigger ACU front line and against that zone.
Adam gets it inside to Smith, knocks down the shot, makes it a 14-point Wildcat lead. Northcutt with the ball, gets it over to Williford. Now Northcutt for three off the back iron, rebounded, nearly rebounded by the Zias, and it's going to be a jump ball.
Jump it up, good hustle by both teams, and ACU will come away with that one. But you look at the Wildcats, Langford, Marquez, and Smith, all nearing double figures now. Smith with 8, Marquez with 12, Langford with 16, and so great balance scoring. You're going to see the Zias in a zone now, try to stop those three.
Ball turnover, Zias will take it. Shot into the lane by Williford, and now it's actually a 12-point lead. Quickly cross court, though, and spins down and good. That ball just hung on that rim and dropped in for 2.
Smith with another bucket, and now 3 Wildcats in double figures. Coach Wilson needed a timeout, going to have another line change essentially here, just trying to find that right mix, that right group to play together and make a little bit of a run. You know, just when we thought the Zias were getting back into it early in the second half, ACU came back and has extended that lead back to 14 here with just under 13 and a half to go here in the second half. Really do or die time right now for the Zias.
Hey, look at some of their leading scorers. It's been kind of a quiet going, an exception of Northcutt.
Yeah, she's played well in the second half, and we talked about her being a key for them. You know, didn't shoot the basketball great in the first half, but has come back, had 5 early points in the second half, 8 points for the game, and has played well for the Zias. Been a bright spot.
Langford leads all scorers at 16 points. Actually, you look at Abilene Christian, you have 3 players in double figures, with Marquez with 12 and Smith with 10. Smith came in late in the first half and already has those 10 points.
Yeah, you know, I think early on ACU was relying on Langford and Marquez on the perimeter, and then they got intentional about getting the basketball inside to Smith, who tremendous player and certainly somebody you can't forget about. She averages over 14 points per game. A great presence on the interior, and it's been a nice 3-person combination for the Wildcats on the inside and on the perimeter.
Tate inside of Heron over to Grant. Ball gets tipped away, though. Wildcats will take over. Marquez with the poke-away steal. Langford will hold on to it. Drives in the lane. No good. Pulled down by Williford. And a whistle's called, and it's going to go against the Zias.
Well, Wildcats established tremendous position there. Number 22, Hillary Adam. And we'll see the replay. Great position. Got there, set, takes the charge. And she does a lot of little things, does Hillary Adam, that can really help out your ball club. They might not always show up in the stat column, but does a lot of things to help your ball club win.
Parliament over now to Adam. Inside to Smith. Smith getting double team. Langford left wide open. Nearly makes him pay, but misses the shot. Lace Cart will take the ball cross court to Grant. Now inside to Williford, and Williford gets jammed up underneath the bucket.
And if you notice as this game is wore on, Zia's just not getting a ton of open looks, especially on the interior. Everything's challenged. You know, they've got a real focus, does Abilene Christian University, on defending that interior, owning the paint. And it's been tough here in the second half for the Zias to get easy baskets.
Inside, underneath to Precious Herring, and she's fouled and gets the N1.
Tremendous pass there by Lace Clark, and they need to continue to get the ball inside. We talked about it's their bread and butter, great interior passing, and when Precious Herring gets it that low, she's so tough to defend, she's going to score.
This shot is in there and drops down. Herring now with 10 points.
certainly has led the way for the Zias and started the second half. Typically does not start the games, but has played the majority of the second half.
Marquez now gets it over to Savannah Smith. First time we've seen her this afternoon. It is a 48-37 game with ACU on top of Eastern New Mexico here in Abilene, Texas. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Welcome back here in Abilene, Texas. ACU with a 11-point lead. Smith, fadeaway Jay, no good. Pulled down by Parliament. Lankford will take the ball and get it over to Savannah Smith. Marquez for the three, no good. And they'll go to Eastern New Mexico.
Well, certainly when we caught up with Coach Lavender, she mentioned a huge key for her team, playing 40 minutes. We've seen them play extremely well at times. I think they're an outstanding basketball team. We've seen them play extremely well at times. We've seen them let down a little bit. They need to continue to try to make this an even game where they play with great intensity all the time. For the most part, they've done that today.
Three-point bucket sinks in by Lace Clark.
Big three by the Zias. As we mentioned they hadn't shot great, under 30% from behind the arc. A key for them against this zone to continue to be able to make that outside shot.
Parliament offset jumper, no good, and the Zias will take over. Karen Grant will have the ball, gets it over to Amber Williford. Now back to Lace Clark, now to Herring. Herring, the hand on her face, airballs it. Langford goes coast to coast and one.
And we'll mention it again, she does a great job initiating the contact, getting the defender into her, and draws the foul, as we see, and just right off the bat takes the extra gear, gets to the hoop, gets into that defender, and gets the contact, and Mac Langford goes to the line.
18 points, make it 18.
4 of 7 from the line tonight for her. Normally a very good free throw shooter and gets there quite often.
10-point lead as he whistles on the floor. And it's going to send Williford up to the line, the freshman from DeSoto, Texas.
Averages about 3.5 a game, shoots 58% from the free throw line, 40% from the field.
That one drops in.
Marquez going to get a quick breather for the Wildcats, as is Parliament.
Adam Marino will check in for the Wildcats as they switch out their bigs.
Got a lot of depth at that position we talked about. They've got a big front line. They're tough to score on in the interior.
It's now a Wildcat 8-point lead. The Zias trying to keep within reach. Lankford loses the ball though. Grant will take it. Now inside, and the ball's loose, and they turn the ball right over. Not what do you want to do there.
Absolutely not. I mean, you got the turnover on ACU, and then you come right back and turn it back over. Makes it tough, and you look at that turnover battle. Eastern New Mexico in this second half has had a lot of them. 15 now for the game, 10 for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you're looking at the half we were talking about was 8 and 8, and you give up 7 turnovers halfway through the second half.
That's absolutely a difficult stat to overcome.
Langford drops it in there and one. She is past the 20-point plateau, what her season average is. And that's a reason why she's 11th in the nation in scoring.
She does a great job, and a physical player that likes that contact, that will go off the shoulder of her defender and get right to the basket. You don't always see that a ton, especially in today's college basketball world, and so tremendous to see, and obviously why she's the top scorer in the LSC and one of the top in the country.
This is off the iron, so 4 for 8 from the charity stripe, and she's taking 19 shots this afternoon. Sees with the ball, 3-point shot off the iron, taken back by Adam. Smith gets it over to Langford. Langford with 2 more points, 22 for the afternoon.
A tough layup there, great body control to score that layup, and tremendous fast break points by the Wildcats.
Tate inside to Williford. Now to Tate again as they lost the ball and the whistle's on the floor. As Tate's going to go up the line for 2 shots.
Tate's been a little bit quiet in the second half. I think a huge key to the Zias and everything that they do. Almost 12 points a game, leads the team in assists, gets 4 rebounds. We haven't said her name a lot in the second half. I think as we continue to move on, she's obviously got to be a big factor for them.
Tara Johnson and Hannah Elthide will check in for the Zias. As it seems like to me, Travis, the Wildcats are putting in some afterburners, running a fast tempo offense and kind of throwing off the Zeta defense.
Absolutely, they're getting up and down right now, and Mac Langford takes a seat at 9 minutes, so we'll see how that plays out for the Wildcats as their leading scorer goes out for a quick breather. It'd be an important couple minutes for them to kind of weather the storm, to continue to, put the gas on and try to extend this lead more.
Inside of Smith, and she's stuffed and fouled.
We'll get Precious Heron on that foul. And we mentioned Smith has come on. So we got that replay right here for you. Smith goes up, and you saw it just across the arm and got her with the body. And so Smith will get 2 free throws.
That one goes every way but in. Smith with 10 points. As Heron's going to go to the bench, take a breather, replaced by Jasmine Johnson.
Smith on the year at 80% free throw shooter, so she gets up there, she normally knocks them down.
Second one is in there, so it goes back to a 11-point lead for Abilene Christian University. This game is turned up its intensity, a lot more physical plays each possession heading down the stretch.
Absolutely, Don, you're exactly right. The intensity's gone up, and you will see that now as we get closer and closer to tournament time. The intensity continues to rise. February 29th through March 4th is going to be an outstanding event at Allen Event Center. And you mentioned it. It's just a different level of play when you get to tournament time. And that's what everyone's playing for right now.
Elthide getting double teamed. Now a traveling call is on Elthide as Zias probably took 1 too many passes there.
And now 16 turnovers for the game for the Zias. Uncharacteristic of them. They normally value the basketball quite a bit, take care of it, and it certainly has hurt them today.
Smith now over to Adam. Now they get inside to Smith again and gets the bucket. 12 points.
Well, especially when Precious Heron is not on the floor, Smith becomes so difficult to guard with that size advantage. Gets great position You know, she's 6'2" and is certainly a presence in the middle.
Tate takes a work around a couple defenders, misses it, airballs it instead, and is pulled down by the Wildcats. Smith drives in the lane, airballs it, and it will remain with the Wildcats after the break. 57-44 is your score with Abilene Christian on top of Eastern New Mexico. This is the Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
We strive for academic excellence. We believe in engaging our community. We're proud of our tradition. We exemplify respect on and off the field. We conduct ourselves with integrity, and we're committed to being the best. That's why we're the one. Lone Star Conference, we're the one.
Hey LSC fans, it's free food, free games, free fun. 2012 Lone Star Conference Fan Fest, followed by 2 men's basketball games at 6 and 8:30. For more information, go to LoneStarConference.org.
Welcome back here in Abilene, Texas. 57-44 is your score with ACU on top of Eastern New Mexico. Wildcats will have the ball. Marquez over to Adam. Adam works a couple defenders, now hands it over to Smith. Now inside to Smith. Smith tries, gets inside to Adam, and she knocks it down, giving ACU their largest lead at 15.
The sophomore Hillary Adam does a lot of things. We talked about her, averages over 5.8 points per game and 5 rebounds.
Couple shots, no good. Eastern New Mexico shooting 28% from the field so far this afternoon.
That, along with turnovers, has really hurt them, and specifically in the second half, they've turned it over far too much.
And once you mention that, the Wildcats turn it over, and that's their 12th of the afternoon. 3 is good, as Lindsey Wilson will call a timeout and gather her troops back together as they trail by 12.
Big 3 there by Tori Northcutt, who's played very well in the second half. I think she has been the bright spot for the Zias in the second half. 11 points for the game. Now 3 of 9 from downtown, 4 of 11 overall. And you just continue to go back to the big 3 from ACU that have really sparked this lead, that have continued to pour it on here. You talk about Marquez, talk about Smith, and you talk about Langford.
It's been a 3-headed monster for ACU this afternoon, with 3 players in double figures, with Langford leading the way with 22.
And you credit ACU. We talked about it in the pregame show that they needed to come in here and play good defense. They were giving up the 2nd most points in the LSC, and they've really tightened it up and played well, specifically on the interior, which is Eastern New Mexico's strength, with Precious Heron.
Marquez going all the way coast to coast, misses the jumper. Precious Heron pulls it down for the board. Northcutt for 3, drops it in there, as they're not ready to head home yet.
Oh, they fight. They're so much like their coach. They continue to fight, and they're going to play till the very end. Northcutt now with 14 points. Great leader for them. I think such an important key to their team, has played well in the second half.
Langford, who came in after the timeout, loses the ball. Ball is going to be a whistle against Eastern New Mexico. As the bench there is Asking the refs what happened. We'll see it right here.
Tough to see from that replay, but it appeared to be a loose ball and going for it. And the hard part about that is, if you're Eastern New Mexico, is now that ACU is in the bonus. And so they get to go to the line off of a scramble for a loose ball. You know, you hate to see that. Certainly with officiating, though, you know, typically those types of situations even themselves out throughout the basketball game.
Langford will go up to the line and hits the 1-and-1. She's missed her last few from the charity stripe. 5 for 9 this afternoon. Brings her afternoon total up to 23. And make that 24.
74% free throw shooter on the season, so she's normally spot on up there on the line.
Northcutt to Grant. Trying to get inside of Heron. Heron pulls it down. And a whistle on the floor. Heron will go to the line.
Looks like they'll hit Parliament. 34-page Parliament, 6'1", freshman, senior. By and large, a pretty young Wildcat team. You know, they've had their ups and downs this year and fighting for the tournament.
Yeah, they started the season pretty well, but once they hit conference play, and it's been a roller coaster season. They won 2 of the last 10 games. They're 8-13 overall, 3-12 in the LC.
Just one senior on the roster who hasn't played a ton today, and so a very young team, and you'll go through those ups and downs with a young team, but Coach Lavender, I think, has her team playing their best basketball at the right time of the season.
Whistle's going to be called, and it's going to be on Reno. A foul before the shot. As Southside will take a seat.
You know, another thing with young teams is you'd love to see how they will finish this game, because young teams can have difficulty finishing out games. A 10-point lead, a nice cushion for them. We'll see.
It's been an uphill battle for Eastern New Mexico in the history between these two programs. You mentioned winless since 08. It's been 21 straight wins for ACU versus Eastern New Mexico. And Shauna Lavender, the head coach for ACU, has Eastern New Mexico's number 18-0, and that's a very unusual stat you see from a head coach at any program for this long a time.
She's done a tremendous job here. 5 straight appearances in the LC tournament as we get an offensive foul there. And that's why I mentioned earlier about young teams having some difficulties at finishing out basketball games, knowing when to go and when to pull it out and run good offense. That can be difficult with young teams, but Coach Lavender has absolutely developed a great program here, and they're fighting to keep that postseason tournament streak alive.
Jumper is good by Tara Johnson and cuts it down to an 8-point Zia lead. Langford trying to spin around Tate, and she's called for the foul. Zia fans not happy after the last few calls, but Langford will go up to the line.
Well, that intensity's picked up, and the Zias are going to be all over those ball handlers as we move forward here. And Tate, great defensive player, gets called for a foul there, and Langford goes to the line.
It's the first of the 1-and-1. As the score will go back to a 9-point Wildcat lead, and gets rebounded by Smith, and she's not able to drop it in. Zias will take over.
Good offensive board for her.
Northcutt for 3 off the back iron, taken back by Parliament.
We'd love to see some great offense here. Get exactly what you want out of this possession. You know, time is certainly on your side if you're the Wildcats, and you know, you certainly want to continue to be aggressive, but you want to be aggressive in a smart way to get the right baskets at the right time.
Marquez gets it inside to Parliament. Actually, it's Smith. And our whistle is called. And it's going to be a Precious Heron. Heron now has 4 personal fouls.
Certainly not a good sign if you're the Zias. I don't know if you take her out here or not. I guess they're going to sub her out with 4 minutes to go. Certainly don't want her to foul out, but obviously it's an important time for your team. And I like the possession there by ACU. Get the ball into Smith. Has done a lot of great things.
Smith hits the first shot. 13 points, 14 points now. Came off the bench in the first half. Now she is the second leading scorer. Actually, Heron fouled out. That was 5, so.
11 points, 8 rebounds for her on the afternoon. Fouled out with a little over 4 minutes to play. Obviously going to be tough for the Zias to overcome that one.
Heron at the half had 0 fouls. So if all 5 fouls came in the second half, and that's kind of hard to do here as we head into the timeout. 64-53 is your score with ECU on top of Eastern New Mexico. This is Lone Star Conference on FoxSportsSouthwest.com.
Launch yourself into the future of technology at Eastern New Mexico University in Portales. When you experience the Eastern Way, you'll experience a state-of-the-art computer center, full access to the internet in classrooms and residence halls, college credit instructional TV courses in different cities and high schools, even student-produced programs on Eastern's own public radio and TV stations. For registration information or how to get launched aboard one of Eastern's 60 undergraduate and graduate majors, call 1-800-4ENMU.
Welcome back here in Abilene, Texas, in Moody Coliseum, the home of the Abilene Christian University Wildcats.
Well, I tell you, it totally slipped by us. Precious Heron fouling out. Huge part of this game right now. Had no fouls in the first half. We weren't really worried about it. Picked up all 5 in the second half for the Zias.
With that, it cuts it down to a 9-point lead. Is each possession here with under 4 minutes left, and the ball is loose, and then that one will rattle out in front of us and go back to Eastern New Mexico.
Turnover on Mac Langford. And we talked about Kiera Tate being a great defender, and she's drawn that assignment here late, trying to force the Wildcats into some turnovers. 14 for the game for the Wildcats.
Johnson gets around into the lane, and 1.
Gonna pick up the offensive foul on that one.
Oh, yep.
We got that replay right here. Go strong to the right, and absolutely a good call there. Wildcats were in position, draw the charge. Goes the other way. And that was Hillary Adam, her second charge that she's taken today. Again, she does a lot of things that don't show up in the stat column, tomorrow or at the end of the season even, but does a lot of things to help your team win.
Adam with the ball, and she'll get it over to Perez. Actually, it's Marquez. The ball is taken away, though, underneath the bucket. Eastern New Mexico go quickly cross court. Miscommunication, though, by Kiera Tate to Grant. A little too fast there.
Yeah, a little too fast there. And then on the other side, Marquez, it's 68 turnovers on the year for her, leads the team in turnovers. maybe kind of one area that she needs to continue to work on, because she's had a great game and done a lot of good things.
Langford quickly all the way to Adam, and they sink the bucket. Caught Eastern New Mexico napping a little bit after the inbound pass.
Great run by Adam. Again, does a lot of things. Gets on the offensive glass, rebounds well, has drawn 2 charges.
Too many steps by Kira Tate, and he'll turn the ball back over. That is number 20.
Just too many, and very uncharacteristic of the Zias. They normally value the basketball, take care of it. They force turnovers, they get on the offensive glass, and just has not been the case today.
Ball called.
They're going to call that one away from the ball on Kiara Tate. Going to get the hold on Mack. Langford gets to go to the line again to try to add to her total. 25 points on the night. Has had an exceptional ball game, and that's what we expected out of her. Leads the LSC in scoring.
Wildcats in the double bonus, so they'll be shooting 2 the whole way out, and that one is in. 26 points now. That one drops down. So 27 points for Langford. Tough job in the corner by Althide.
Great save and a real heads-up play by Northcutt to call timeout, realizing her teammate was in trouble and trapped in the corner. Northcutt has played well for the Zias, the senior from Clovis. 14 points, and majority of them have come in the second half.
And you see the Zia bench. Lindsey Wilson, the head coach, talking to her team. Her team is shooting 31% this afternoon with 20 turnovers.
She's a fiery coach, very hands-on. When we had that Texas women's game at Eastern New Mexico, we got to watch her and shoot around beforehand, and a great teacher of the game. Is fired up, has done a great job, and in my opinion has done a tremendous job at Eastern New Mexico in building a very good program in only her first season.
13-point lead for ACU. Hera Johnson will get it, and it'll go back to Tate. Northcutt driving the lane to Jasmine Johnson. Jumper no good. Pulled down by Northcutt. Drops down the bucket. As Northcutt has been the player to go to tonight with 16 points.
16 and has really turned it on in the second half. The senior absolutely wants to play in that LSC tournament, and huge part of this Zia's team. Got that replay for you right here. As they got the offensive foul there, a little bit of an elbow nudge by Smith, and it was enough for the officials to call her for the offensive.
That's going to be her 5th personal foul, so she is done for the evening.
Smith had a great game. 15 points, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line, and 5 rebounds. You mentioned it, 5 fouls. She's out of it now.
Tate over to Althide. Ball gets stuffed by Adam, and Langford will take the ball across court. Jumper off the iron, pulled down by Eastern New Mexico. Northcutt will take it over to Tate. Minute and a half left. It's go time. Now they take a 3 in there. They'll cut it down 8 points.
8-point game, and if you're Wildcats, it's a great move by Langford, but you've got to be careful offensively. You want to take the right shots right now down the stretch. I think that was a great possession. The one before that might have been a little bit of a questionable shot.
Last touch was by Eastern New Mexico there, and it'll go back to the Wildcats as they are ahead by 10.
29 points from Mac Langford.
That is with the ball. Now to Marquez. Marquez open for the jumper, does not knock it down. Eastern New Mexico will take over. Northcutt for three. Off the back iron, pulled down by Jasmine Johnson, and she is fouled.
Way to crash by Jasmine Johnson, and gets rewarded here with a chance to go to the line. You know, that last possession by the Wildcats, that was a good shot. It was an open layup, went uncontested to the basket. You don't mind those, but you want them to finish.
Johnson misses the free throw with 48 seconds left on the clock. That one drops down, so it's now a 9-point lead. As Williford will come in. .47 seconds left, and timeout called.
ACU looking to end their 3-game losing streak here, trying to get to 4-12 in LSC play as they trail Kingsville, Incarnate Word, and Eastern New Mexico in the standings.
And Eastern New Mexico trying to cling in and stay into the race for Destination Allen. They had an opportunity to surpass, at least sneak into another position on the standings.
Right now they're currently in 7th, tied essentially with Texas Women's, and so certainly this is some important basketball for them and will continue to be the remainder of the season, as will it be for ACU. You know, they really needed a win today, and it looks like they're going to get it here as long as they take care of business at the free throw line, but absolutely needed this win to stay alive, you know, right behind Texas A&M, Kingsville, and Incarnate Word in the race.
We'll see Incarnate Word next weekend, Travis.
Yeah, great opportunity to go to Angelo State University. Tremendous campus there at the Janelle Center. It's a fantastic place to play college basketball, and we'll see Incarnate Word coming to town. 5:30 and 7:30 will be those broadcasts. Of course, women's first, men's second, and as is that today, another doubleheader for us.
Second one is good, so Langford with 31 points this evening.
Has had a great game. I mean, she's been very impressive in all aspects of her game.
Ball's skied over the bucket, and the last touch was by ACU. As Lace Clark will check in and replace Karen Grant. .36 seconds left, I should say. Northcutt got stuffed by Reno, and she steps out of bounds after when she grabbed the ball down. So go back to Eastern New Mexico. Langford getting the job done in all aspects, steals the ball, and they're going to foul Perez.
Perez will go to the line, 64% free throw shooter. Averages 5.5 a game. I've certainly been very impressed by this ACU team. I know they're young, one senior, but they've got a fantastic attack, inside, outside game.
So that'll be a 12-point ASU lead. Taking a long three off the iron. Johnson pulls it down, tries to make the shot. Ball's tipped away. Goes out of bounds. No, stayed inbound somehow. Johnson, 10 seconds left on the clock. Airballs it, and they're going to foul her with 5.5 seconds left. So a big win for ACU here this evening as
Kiara Tate will foul out. 5 personals for her. Second, Zia to foul out. And really, you know, your top two players filing out here, Eastern New Mexico University.
That one drops down, so it makes a 13-point lead. That one off the rim, and that's going to be about it right after this shot, and that will be the final score, 74-61. ACU getting the big win over Eastern New Mexico University here in Abilene. This is the Lone Star Conference on Fox Sports Southwest. Stay tuned for postgame after this.
LSC would like to thank the following corporate partners. Firestone, we keep your car running newer, longer. 3 shops, 1 stop, maintenance, repairs, and tires. AccuConference, providing conference calling for the Lone Star Conference. Shut Sports, official softball helmet of the Lone Star Conference. Alpha Graphics, providing printing solutions for the Lone Star Conference. My Sports Streams, providing fundraising solutions for Lone Star Conference member institutions. Bravo Health, community engagement partner of the Lone Star Conference. Adidas, official supplier of the Lone Star Conference. Jostens, official ring provider of the Lone Star Conference. Wilson, the official basketball of the LSC. In the Lone Star Conference, we're committed to respect, integrity, tradition, community, and academic excellence. Lone Star Conference, we're the one. Fans, don't forget to like the Lone Star Conference on Facebook. It's the best way to stay connected to all the latest information from around the league and join the conversation with other LSC fans. For an easy way to follow the latest happenings in the Lone Star Conference, be sure to follow the LSC on Twitter. Get scoring updates, event reminders, and breaking news when you follow the Lone Star.
We strive for academic excellence. We believe in engaging our community. We're proud of our tradition. We exemplify respect on and off the field. We conduct ourselves with integrity, and we're committed to being the best. That's why we're the one. Lone Star Conference, we're the one.
Welcome back. We are with 2 of the victorious student athletes from ACU. Mac, a great performance for you, 31 points tonight. Talk about leading the way for your team.
Well, we just knew this was a game that we really needed to win, and so we came out really hard and we were really prepared, so it was a good game.
Absolutely. And Hillary, for you, took a couple of big charges. You do a lot of little things we talked about throughout the broadcast. Doesn't necessarily show up on the stat column, but helps the team win.
Yes, sir. That's what I look to do for the team, just anything I can do to just give our team the extra boost we need and fire. And so that's what we did here tonight.
Great. And for both of you, a chance to play close to home. Talk about how that feels.
Well, my whole family is here up there, so it's nice having them be able to come and support me every game. So.
Absolutely. And how about for you?
Yeah, same thing. Just having a great crowd and great family and friends supporting us here.
Very great. And talk about some keys as you move forward here, trying to make the Lone Star Conference tournament. Talk about keys for your team.
I think just doing all the little things right, because that's what we struggle with most. That's why we've lost. You know, every game we play has been really close, and it's just little runs or just rebounding, turnovers, stuff like that. So we just got to keep everything low and keep our mistakes down. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one thing we focus on is just taking it one game at a time, and that's really all we can do here at this point, and is just look at the next game is our biggest game. So.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. Great win for you.
Thank you.
This is the LSC on FoxSportsSouthwest.com. Good work.
Welcome back here in Abilene Christian University. Big win today for Abilene Christian over Eastern New Mexico. The Zias 74-61 is your final score this afternoon.
a huge win for the Wildcats when they really needed it. As you look forward to Destination Allen, they had to get a win to stay in the hunt. I think a great balanced attack from them. A young team, but I think their best basketball is still to come this year.
Leading all scorers, Mac Langford with 31 points. You talked to her earlier. Big game for her.
Absolutely. She does such a great job getting to the basket, drawing contact, and getting to the free throw line. She also shoots the perimeter shot very well. So a great all-around game for her. Also got 7 rebounds, and so it does a lot of good things for the Wildcats.
Smith and Marquez with 15 and 12 points. Basically, you can say it was one player, but it was a team effort for ECU this afternoon.
Absolutely. It's so key to have 3, 4, 5 players in double figures, and they got 3 tonight. I think that's a huge key for Coach Lavender and her team.
As you see behind us, you see both the men's teams going on, the Greyhounds and Wildcats coming up next year, Travis.
Absolutely. I think going to be a great matchup, and we'll certainly be right back to break that one down. But Eastern New Mexico University got the win earlier this season, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about both of those teams.
We'll be back after this. This is the Lone Star Conference of FoxSportsSouthwest.com.